On March 15th, Tyler O'Hara and Hawk Mazada are going to host the GP World Cup alongside the Mission MotoAmerica Mini Cup Qualifier. O'Hara, the 2022 Mission King of the Baggers champ and 2023 Super Hooligan National champ, is a big proponent of getting kids up through the ranks and really wants to bring young talent as high as he can in the motorcycle racing world. This GP World Cup qualifier has classes for kids as little as like 2 or 3 years old all the way up to teenagers on all sorts of different kinds of machinery. His effort is just to try and bring young talent up through the ranks to give them the opportunity he never had. Motorcycle.com had the chance to sit down and talk to O'Hara over Zoom to get an idea of what he's putting on and what the GP World Cup is all about.
I'm from Northern California, and when I grew up, there was a group of us that we raced together in Supermoto USA, and that was the place where we went, and we had competition, and we had a good group of kids: Bobby Fong, Elena Myers, Joey Pasquarella, Cameron Bobier. The list goes on and on. And I've been very fortunate and blessed that I've extended my career racing with Factory Indian Motorcycle, and now I'm in a position to give back. And there hasn't really been much going on in Northern California. And for me, and fellow Northern California, Hawk Mazada, Cameron Bobier, we're like, hey, we really need to put something together and give these kids an opportunity. So what we've created, we've collaborated with MotoAmerica and Mission Foods, and we have a Northern California Mission Mini Cup National Qualifier. So it's a really great opportunity. We got John Hopkins on board down at El Valle, USA. And for any kids that are new or interested, we got an arrive and race rental program. So you don't have to go buy a Ovale. Ideally, if you like the bike, it would be great to have your own bike, but just really trying to create the most entry level, educational, grassroots way to get kids on track. And we've collaborated with John Hopkins for the arrive and race rental program, GP 160, the GP 110, and the GP 190. We have all 6 MotoAmerica qualifying classes. So that also includes the stock 50, the stock 110, and the street GP for Groms and Z125s and such. We'll be racing at Sonoma Raceway Karting Center. It's one of the nicest karting facilities in the country. And it's been a long time since we've had a race up there, so I'm really excited to be able to bring it back to Northern California at a really great track. And we got a new racer school with Hawk Mazada, Moto Camp. So basically, we got the arrive and race rental program, and anybody that's new on an Ovale, we're going to have a parking lot drill area, and there'll be 2 free practice sessions included with the schooling. So we can do like a lead follow, a real general track introduction to really just kind of introduce people to the track. And as well, we have our feeder program, which is a STASIC class. So we have a free STASIC class. We're all about just getting exposure to these kids and give them an opportunity that, man, I wish I had when I was a kid, because this is such a great opportunity. Basically, all you have to do is start the race in one of the qualifying classes, and you'll get 10 points. And those 10 points will transfer over to the national championship in August at Road America. So basically, it's a shortcut to become a national champion in 2 races. You can come and qualify at our race. You can train for 5 months. You can really hone in your skills, and then you can go win a national championship. And, that is just such a cool opportunity. The arrive and race rental program that we have with John Hopkins. John Hopkins is obviously, MotoGP superstar. So having him involved and myself and Cameron Bobier and Joe Roberts is, supposed to make an appearance as well. So just giving these kids a visual that you can do it. And if you just, keep them on the right track and give them some inspiration and, expose some parents to the world of road racing. Because when I was dirt tracking and growing up, it was a totally different world. And, for me, it was, you had to be 16 to be on the big track. And then basically the operating expenses are very expensive at the big track. And so this is a real, I guess you say, a lot cheaper way of gaining asphalt experience at a much slower, safer speed, but the fundamentals and everything apply right to the big bike. And we just need to get a grassroots youth generation going.
So let's refresh people's memory. What is the date of the Mini Cup qualifier at Sonoma?
Okay, yeah, so we have a Riders Law Friday practice from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. In the afternoon, we have free camping Friday night, March 14th,
March
and the
14th.
race date is March 15th, Saturday.
Okay.
And it's a pretty early program, just because we, have time restraints and such. But basically, there'd be two practice sessions, a qualifying session, and a race. And then the Ovale classes, I made it two main events because there is contingency available. So me as a racer, instead of
Yeah.
having a qualifying and a heat race, I wanted to do double races so you get double contingency.
Of course, yeah. I want to touch on something you mentioned earlier. Um, there's just 2 rounds potentially to become a national champion, but there's a pretty big break in between, a couple of months, 5 months time in between. Um, will there be any sort of mentorship or any sort of, are you going to be keeping in touch with some of these kids in between that time, especially who knows, maybe some kid that no one's ever heard of shows up and blows everyone's doors off. Like, is there going to be some sort of way that you keep in touch, or someone on your team keeps in touch with these kids to kind of keep that momentum going? Is that going to be a thing?
Yeah, so I mean, ideally, eventually, I'd like to have some sort of academy, and be able to host kids at the ranch and show them how we train and how we prepare for opportunities like this. And with John's series down south, having a place to go and keep them on the right track and really hone their skills and then prepare for the national championship. And for me, I'm already helping out a lot of kids just because I'm so passionate about it. I got one kid up here, Dexter Daytona, Al Salveria's son. He's an old road racer himself, and um, trying to get him some competition so he can better his skills. When I grew up, there was a group of us to where we all pushed each other and we made each other better. So that's a big part of this. And we have track days every Monday at the kart track. Dixon runs every weekend, Argyle Park, so they're open Saturday, Sunday. So there's definitely places to go ride and train. Um, but yeah, definitely, I'm gonna do what I can to try to get the next champion coming from Northern California for sure.
Which then kind of, let's take a turn here and go back to your beginnings. I mean, you've got the supermoto and the dirt track background, but I mean, go back to when you were, say, 5 years old. I mean, what were the early beginnings like for you then? And then was there a point at which you were like, okay, things are getting serious, and there really is a really difficult path for me to go forward because the European kids are just got all kinds of things going on, but the US is kind of in this no man's land. So two-part question. Let's go back to like your early beginnings and then that point where you were kind of at this crossroads.
Yeah, for me, I grew up racing flat track over at Lodi Cycle Bowl, and a lot of great racers came out of there, the Bostrom brothers, and uh, Kenny Roberts and all of the Chris Carr. A lot of these really talented riders came out of there. And, I grew up in basically racing in the dirt, and I didn't know really anything about asphalt besides, the Bostrom brothers. They were from my hometown, and I always looked up to them, and they were my heroes, really.
Mm.
And, there was a point when I was racing a little bit of everything and, in the dirt and started to kind of get hurt. And, when I was 16 years old, I really took a big step back and had to take a look at the big picture and where I wanted to be. And I knew that in motocross, you had a career from about 16 to 23 years old. And about 26 years old, you're about broken and you're a veteran, and that's kind of your window.
Yeah.
And for me, that's when I started racing supermoto, which was the most natural transition to the asphalt. And I really honed my skills on the asphalt and learned the asphalt at a much cheaper way to operate. And just, crashing, that's a big part of road racing, obviously, but learning the asphalt. And that's where I transitioned into supermoto and kind of caught the tail end of the glory supermoto days.
Sure.
It was really pumping. And but just trying to get into road racing was just a foreign world. I didn't know anything about it, and I just really had to dive in and, just, had a steep learning curve. And there was really no feeder program or any sort of besides supermoto. That was the asphalt that we got exposed to. And what we have going at Sonoma Raceway at the kart track, being able to go up there and ride 4 times a month and getting the seat time and having a mentorship and good group of people to ride with and just getting seat time. So, making that transition was a bit tough. So creating opportunity for these kids try something new and have a great feeder program to where they can build their resume up and get noticed at a younger age and really get the competition level up is really what we need to do and have these kids compete and have a place to compete. So um, for me, that was kind of my path. For me, racing, my career kind of got extended with the King of the Baggers Championship and kind of found my niche. And I'm still going strong and I keep getting better, but I do train at the kart track and have Ninja 400s and have Ovales. And I kind of went backwards with my career as far as how to train and how to do it, but there is a formula. Look at the Academy, Valentino Rossi, they all got Ovales, they ride flat track with the front brake and they're always training and riding, and the Haydens, it's there's a formula. So that's everything that I'm trying to do is just replicate the formula for myself. And then, trying to get these kids out there at a younger age to just do the same. I think now there's more of an opportunity to go straight to MotoGP than ever.
Did you ever pursue anything in Europe? Did you ever try to make any sort of mark on the European scene, or was that not really an option for you?
Honestly, for me, I just really thought my dream was to be an American Superbike champion. And I always kind of envisioned to be on a Japanese motorcycle. And then, I kind of found my niche racing big V twins. I just kind of pursued that and did really well at it. You got to find your niche and dominate your niche, and you got to do what works for you and race in a class where you can compete and win. And that's kind of the path I took, and I'm really grateful and happy that I did, because now I'm representing Indian Motorcycle on a factory team. And I mean, honestly, in my wildest dreams, it couldn't get any cooler.
Yeah, I mean, I got to admit, when the Bagger series was first introduced, I was a bit skeptical, but it's definitely won me over. It's some of the coolest racing I've seen in a long, long time. So getting back into getting more kids and more representation from the younger side of American riders. One, you must get bombarded by youngsters trying to get a helping hand from you or from any of these, bigger name riders that they have access to. I'm assuming what you're doing right now is spawned by, all this attention you guys are getting from the Bagger series and kids asking you like, how do I do that, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm so passionate about it, right? And I love what I do, and I'm very grateful and to be able to be in a position that I can give back to these kids. I mean, we had two bikes on display just this last weekend at the Santa Rosa Indoor Flat Track, and to have kids see it, touch it, feel it, sit on it, and just see their eyes light up and just really understand this is something that they can do and make a living at. I mean, um, it's probably one of the toughest jobs in the world to make a living at, but you can do it if you really stick yourself out there and put in the work. And right now with the opportunities and stuff that we have coming down the pipe with, John Hopkins and Ovale USA and becoming the national championship at a younger level. I mean, the sky's the limit. I feel like road racing in America is the healthiest it's been in the last 15 years. The fan attendance is great. Bikes are selling as far as the baggers and the challengers. And that's directly related to the consumer and the product. And, but yeah, there are a lot of kids that are curious. The parents are a little bit skeptic because it is asphalt, but I just was explaining to someone yesterday that, in my opinion, that the career span in road racing is a lot longer than supercross and dirt bikes because, it's not how fast you crash, it's how fast you stop. That's what I heard a long time ago. And, you can crash 100 miles an hour, you can skid down the road and you can get back up and you're good. Where supercross and dirt, you jump, you stop, it's so, I mean, it's all risk reward, but I'm in my 30s now, and I'm racing. I'm able to continue to learn and get better every year and push myself. And, ultimately, you keep winning, you can keep your job.
Yeah, exactly. I saw for those watching this and listening into this, if you want more information, go on Motorcycle.com and search in the search bar for the Mini Cup qualifier. We have more information on our website there, just as an aside, before I forget to mention that. So my other question for you was there was a press release that you guys sent out about this event, and I saw on there's a ton of classes, like you mentioned, but one class in particular that caught my eye was, I forget what it's called, but it's basically for Ninja 400s and basically the former Junior Cup bikes in MotoAmerica. That's an interesting one to me because obviously there's a lot of kids in that like early to mid teenager range that have, are very used to these Ninja 400s and the R3s and such. But there's really no class for that anymore at the pro level. It seems pretty clear that you're trying to cater to those kids or anyway to those riders with that class. But in the event they do well, where do they like how can you help them move on from there?
Yeah, so the Ninja, we're calling it the GP World Cup. So basically, it's a 500cc twin cylinder max CC race, and that's what I train on. That's what a lot of us train on. We go to the kart track, we get a lot of seat time. It's a really fun motorcycle to ride. I think it's going to be a great race. So giving them opportunity for these kids that have Ninja 400s and KTM 390s and R3s. A place to go race and compete. Just touching on that, we have Rumble Strip Rentals is going to have R3 motorcycles available for rent as well to compete in the GP World Cup. I think that would be the next step, or even a Twins Cup. So I think that's the transition, but just trying to maximize the opportunity for these kids that are just a little bit older for the Ovale class, get them some exposure. We have a $1,500 pro purse, so hopefully we'll get some riders to show up and race for some money and have hold up a big cup. And I just think it's such a fun class, and I think we just needed to do something,
Sure.
give these kids an opportunity. The transition to the Kramer Cup is, there's a lot of eyes on this what we're doing, the race at Sonoma Raceway March 15th, and giving these kids an opportunity. They're a little bit older, out of the Ovale qualifying cup classes, giving them a lot of exposure. We got a $1,500 purse, and to be able to hold up a big cup and a trophy. We're going to be live streaming this event as well, so giving kids interviews and working on their etiquette on the mic, and just really trying to groom them for the situation when they're in the spotlight. And with all the eyes and people that are going to be tuned in, having an opportunity might turn into getting a ride on a Kramer, or in the Twins Cup. And um, I think it's going to be a full grid. I think it's going to be exciting. And a lot of people want to come compete because they have the bikes and they're readily available.
Sure. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, there's a ton of those bikes out there and a ton of kids who've now got nowhere to go with it. So that's great. How much are the kids going to have access to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be there Friday. I'm gonna be there Saturday. I'm gonna have a little autograph signing and passing out posters, and just I'm there all day. I'm gonna be passing out trophies and awards, and just really just super involved. I got my feet on the ground. I'm very grounded and just humble, and I'm excited. I'm gonna be racing Daytona the weekend before, so
Nice.
got a lot on the table, but man, I'm prepared. I'm looking forward to it, and it's gonna be a blast.
Here's a follow-up question to that is how much will the parents have access to you?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm available. I've been answering all the questions. That's the thing with promoting, is you kind of answer all the questions, and you get a lot of questions. Just what about the tires? And I bought 5 sets of tires already, and I'm just handing them out because I want people to just show up and be a part of it. And helmets. But yeah, I'll be running around, doing my best to just make sure everybody's happy and having a good time, because that's what it's all about, having fun and enjoying the opportunity. And everybody that starts the race, they'll get 10 points. They don't have to win. They don't have to finish the race. So just big picture. And then, you have 5 months to really train and prepare, and then go win a national championship, and learn from it, and enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So we have just about 6 minutes left here. For kids and parents who maybe are on the fence about doing this, especially if they're younger kids and parents of younger kids, what would you say to calm them down and ease their fears and make them excited to come join you guys?
For us, it's about safety and really learning the basics, and really having the Hawk Mazada Moto Camp School, the new racer school, and having a real introduction. Okay, we're going to do parking lot drills. We're going to have the safety, the helmet, the gear. We're going to go have a classroom, a lead follow on track. We're not just throwing them out on track. It's going to be real entry level. And it's the kart track. It's the best place, in my opinion, to really get your feet wet and just understand the asphalt. The speeds are slower. It's just a good environment. You can see older kids and just understand the progression. You can start out with a STASIC class and just really get exposed to it, and just start small and keep it simple. And have a stock 50 or a stock 110. You can get some Pirelli Angel scooter tires on there and just roll around and see if you like it and have fun. And I'm available to answer any questions, recommendations on gear or helmets or leathers. And yeah.
I think the what you're trying to say is you've thought about this a lot, and there's going to be a lot of protocols to really help young kids, parents of young kids, newer riders really feel comfortable in this environment, right?
Exactly, exactly. And that's the whole thing that we've kept going around. One is just trying to get kids on the track, and then obviously making the parents feel comfortable and confident that we're going to put them in a great environment by creating the new racer school and having parking lot drills before they even head out to the track, and then when they head out on track, having a guest instructor like myself or Hawk Mazada or whoever shows up to really just show them around, lead follow, and really break it down about how you enter the track and exit the track, and just a fun, safe environment to go have fun with your family, really.
So let's close this out. We have just a couple of minutes left here. If people want more information, where do they go?
You can check us out on social media. It's the Mission Mini Cup Sonoma. That's kind of the most updated day by day information as far as social media. You
We'll
know,
have that information on how to sign up, how to join, how to do everything is all over there, right?
yep, registration, everything's right off the Mission Mini Cup Sonoma Instagram, Facebook group. We have the flyer. Basically, there's a QR code on the flyer. If you scan the flyer, that bring you right to registration. All the information is on the flyer. The classes, the availability, info at minicupUSA.com for John Hopkins and the Avale Rentals. David at rumblestriprentals.com for the R3 rentals for the GP Cup. We have CT Pirelli tires on site to be distributing tires. Dunlop is involved. We're just very grateful for the support that we're getting. We had the Pro Supermoto class, DTX 19, Super Mini, the GP World Cup, Sonoma Raceway, March 15th. Hopefully we'll see you guys there. And I'm available as well. Tyler O'Hara 19 at gmail.com for any questions. And feel free to reach out to me. I'm doing my best to get back to you and just be available and have a successful event.
Very cool. And that's perfect timing because this Zoom call is about to wrap up on its own here. So, Tyler, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate everything. Good luck with the event. I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing all about it. And yeah, for those watching, be sure to go to Motorcycle.com. There's more information there as well. All the sites and socials that Tyler just mentioned. There's really no reason not to be there.
Thank you. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much.
No worries, Tyler. Thank you.